Okay, dear students, let's talk about officer-like qualities, which we'll be doing one by one. And the first one is effective intelligence, which comes under the first factor, planning and organizing. Effective intelligence is a little different form of intelligence, a higher form to be precise, where intelligence basically uses certain amount of observation and certain amount of understanding and tries to solve a thing. Effective intelligence goes beyond. When there is certain kind of deviations, certain kind of difficulties, effective intelligence is able to decode them and solve them. Here, effective intelligence has two parts. One, practical, where they are able to apply things. It's not theoretical. Number two, they are able to identify resources. So that is, resourcefulness is also one of the essential part of effective intelligence. So whenever you have certain kind of situations where there are more challenges than one, and at that point you are able to solve it, that's it, you have effective intelligence, and you should develop it. And I'm sure you'll get selected for the same. Thank you very much. Jain. Dear students, we will be talking about officer-like qualities number 2, that is called as reasoning ability. What exactly is reasoning ability? Reasoning ability is some total of 4 aspects. One, of course, observing. Number 2, thereafter, inquiring. You're getting the point. Inquiring means what, why, so. And then logical reasoning, applying your logics. And last but not the least, being receptive and applying it rightly. So this reasoning ability is a sum total of this element, and thus a person is able to rightfully go ahead and solve many things. Now, you know, in the SSB center, you would be going through an OIR test, and where your reasoning will be, test will be given. Thereafter, what they do is, while they give you different situations, there also your reasoning comes into action. When they give you a certain amount of practical situations in GTO, then also your reasoning comes into action. And last but not the least, in the interview also, they give you certain situations and check your reasoning power. Do well and get success. Thank you. Dear students, when we talk about the officer-like quality number 3, we are talking about organizing ability. Now, organizing ability is a set of pattern of a thought which every candidate must have, and they can also exercise and develop this. Organizing ability is things sequentially, things relevantly, and things practically, and thus is able to achieve anything and everything at all point of time. You know, when you have a lot of people, you will have to organize them in terms of their ability, in terms of their requirement, in terms of making them a complete unit. And that's exactly what is going to happen in the armed forces. You will have to integrate them into one. So if you are able to organize well in a sequential manner, and you are able to think properly, I think you have great amount of organizing ability. Now, in organizing ability, one has to really prove themselves in terms of their thinking powers. And this is very well checked up during your SRTs, during your GTO, and last but not the least in the interview when they may give you a situation. So do well and display it well. Thank you. Dear students, when we talk about power of expression, it's a very, very important quality of every leadership, whether it's army, military, or political, or any kind of leadership, it is very important. If one is not able to express themselves properly in terms of vocal, in terms of written, then unfortunately the communication is incomplete, and that becomes a big lacuna for the leader. So one has to be very good in terms of expression, in terms of speech, so that a person is able to not only get the respect, but also the compliance for the order given. So power of expression is inclusive of verbal, it's also inclusive of written, it is inclusive of tone, it is inclusive of speaking, it is inclusive of saying in minimum words and effectively. So you can practice this by doing lectures, by practicing your own interview. I'm sure you will be able to develop it. It's like a singing exercise. More you do, more good you become. God bless you. Do well. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about quality number 5, that is called as social adaptability. And this is a part of factor number 2, which is social adjustment. Okay. So in social adaptability, there are 4 aspects. 1, social intelligence. Second, attitude towards others. What is your attitude towards others? Third is tact. How do you tactfully speak? And last but not the least is adaptability, that you adjust to that condition. You don't have a complaining attitude. See, an armed forces officer or a leader goes through different challenges, different situations, and at that point of time, if he doesn't have a social intelligence, he doesn't understand human beings, he won't be able to do a good leadership. So he should have good social intelligence. He should be respectful and understanding as an attitude. He should be tactful in speech. This is the third aspect. And last but not the least, he should adapt himself to the situation and adjust. Not have complaints, but look at solutions. I'm sure if you display this, you'll be selected, and we would be very happy to see you there. Thank you. Dear students, when we talk about the sixth officer-like quality, we come to know it is cooperation. Now, cooperation is a sense of understanding and having a team spirit, having a respect for the others also, caring for the others also. There are so many people developing today who think only of themselves. Unfortunate. When you will be working in the armed forces or in any organization, if you want to be a leader, your team spirit, sense of joint effort should be good. Because then only you will be able to multiply your effort and make it effective. And as an armed forces officer, it's but essential, but mandatory. The more cooperative and understanding towards others you will be, the more possibility of completing the task will happen. Because armed forces challenges are huge and requires a lot of team efforts. And the sense of team effort and joint effort is butness. While you do GTO or while you are asked about different situations, you should show that sense of attitude, sense of understanding, and sense of cooperation. I'm sure you will do that. You must have learned it in the school, and you'll do well. Thank you. Dear students, we are going to talk about the seventh quality of officer-like quality, which we call as sense of responsibility. Now, sense of responsibility is a very, very important element, which is hardcore psychological element, which is there. Then automatically a person tends to complete the task very sincerely. Now, in the sense of responsibility, four aspects really come forward. The person takes it dutifully. You know, if you're not dutiful, you think that why should I? It's not my duty. Then you automatically would never be having the sense of responsibility. You should always feel dutiful. You should feel that, okay, I've got to do it, because actually a leader has to take charge of the situations. Then we come down to discipline. You should be disciplined about it. You should be persistent about it. Then you should have good values, because values are sustainable. Bad values will not be appreciated, sustainable. And last but not the least, your effort should be very best and giving your 100%. And this is what makes its sense of responsibility effective. And this is what we want from you. Do every task 100%. God bless you. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about quality number 8, but I'm coming under the factor number 3. And factor number 3 is social effectiveness. The first quality which falls in this, and which is the quality number 8, is initiative. Now, what is initiative? Initiative is coming forward, not only taking the first step, but identifying if it is in the right direction, and thereafter completing it to achieve the solution. This is a very, very important quality, because there are many people who tend to develop a tendency, why should I? Why should I come forward? Why should I do the responsibility? This is unfortunate, and thus who suffers? Not only the organization, but sometimes the nation at large. So we should get out of this, why should I? We should always think of, we should. And in this, the first step, take the right step, come forward, identify the right step, achieve the solutions. Now this can be identified in your SRTs, it can be identified in GTO, and can be, of course, identified in the interview by the question the interviewing officer puts up to you. So do well and display this quality. Thank you. Okay, dear students, we will be talking about the quality number 9, self-confidence, which comes under the social effective parameter. This is the third factor. Now, in self-confidence, it's a very, very important thing, because if you do not have confidence in yourself, you won't be able to lead from front. And self-confidence is something which is gathered through your experience, through your participation, and through your self-belief. So if you develop your self-confidence, that automatically walks in. If you have done positive work, positive efforts, and you believe positive, you will always have self-confidence. For example, a person who's honest will always have self-confidence, because the honesty itself is courage building. Remember that self-confidence tends to inspire people. It is a charisma of a leadership, and one should have it. I'm sure you will also have it. It should be relevant, it should be logical, but it should be there in you, because that will inspire the others who are going to follow you as an officer. You would be leading them. So you should have this, and this will should be displayed by you in terms of interview, in terms of GTO, in terms of psychological qualities. I'm sure you will do it. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about the 10th quality, which is very important, the speed of decisions. Now, speed of decision is very important if an organization has to act quickly, particularly the armed forces has to act quickly, then the decision has to be very fast. But during that decision making, certain elements have to be taken care of. Number one, is it appropriate? Next, is it feasible and practical? It also has to be understood that is it cost effective? It should not be a big expense. It should not be that you are putting everybody's life in peril or you are creating huge loss. And along with it, it is very, very important that after a practicality, it is very important that the result should be able to achieve its result. You're getting the point? And it should be as per the organization. So when you do that, it should be quick also, because if you don't do that, it will be a problem. So quick decision, right decision is a tendency which can be developed, and you must have developed it by now. You will have to take it in SRTs, in your interview, in your GTO, and you will get selected. Do that. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about the 11th quality, which is ability to influence the group. Now, remember one thing. Why would the group would be influenced? When you will talk logical. Why the group would be influenced? Because you have connected with them. Why the group would be influenced? Because they will appreciate you as a good person. Why the group will be influenced? Because they like your attitude towards others also. When you create the sense of team spirit, and when you lead with good knowledge, with good concern, good care, automatically the group will be influenced, and it will be seen in the group that people appreciate you, people like you. Don't threaten others. You are there, they are there. Team creates a winning team. So have a team spirit thought process, and your influence of the group will be good. But that is not alone. Your self-confidence, your good knowledge, and your ability to talk logical, to appreciate others is also part of ability to influence the group. Do that. I'm sure this will be seen in your GTO mainly, of course in SRTs and interview. So once you do that, you will be selected, and I'm sure the success will be yours. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about the 12th officer-like quality, which is called liveliness. Now, what do you mean by liveliness? I think people who are cheerful, the people who are full of energy, the people who are motivated from deep within, they tend to inspire people. But the people who are energetic in their old psychological energy, they inspire people. But when a person is down, feeling down, is feeling sad, then automatically the human beings like to ignore that person and never accept them as leaders. Positivity is the key. So if you are positive and you are cheerful, people are going to like that, and that will be your liveliness. Your liveliness is going to connect with people, you're going to make friends, you're going to understand them better, and once you make friends and understand them better, you will become a team member, and thereafter you can automatically promote yourself as a team leader. And that's exactly what we really want. So as an interview, you will be analyzed the same. In psychology test, you will be analyzed the same, and of course GTO. So do that and prove it. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about the 13th quality, which is coming under factor 4, dynamic factor. The first quality under this, which is the 13th quality, is determination. Now in determination, there is two things which is very, very important. In determination, one has to have two elements. One, it should have the first step to come forward and do it, and thereafter maintain it in persistence. If a person is determined, then only they will be able to achieve it completely. A thing has to be completed. The ability to perceive is first, and thereafter the energy to push to make it succeed is second. So if you have that both, the inner drive, the motivation within, you're going to be doing wonders. There are a lot of people who have develop leadership after their determined efforts. So always remember, determination always yields results, and this will be checked in your psychological qualities in your interview and in GTO. Display, I'm sure you will get selected. Thank you. Dear students, we will be talking about the quality number 4, which comes under, of course, the dynamic factor, and the quality is courage. Now, courage is something which is there in some people, which is not there in some people. Now, what exactly is courage? Courage is, the sense of feeling, the sense of adventurism that I would like to take the challenge. There are some people who would say, no, challenge, no, not taking. But there are some people who will come forward and say, okay, we're going to go take the challenge. They have the sense of adventurism also that they're going to complete it. And last but not the least, not only that sense of adventurism, but they also have the sense of calmness, composed attitude to do it very carefully and properly. Now this is seen through GTO, this is seen through different SRTs, this is also identified through the interview. When they see that you're not panic, you're very calm and composed and giving the answers nicely. So do that. I'm sure by displaying this quality, you will be able to score well and get success. Thank you. Dear students, we will be now talking about the 15th and the last two officer-like qualities, which generally is taken into understanding. That is called the stamina. Now, stamina is inner energy, which makes you do anything, not only with full energy, but completely. It is that energy which helps you to multiply it. And we have that running exercise in the armed forces that exactly always builds up stamina. So minimum stamina is there, the sense of motivation is there, then we can multiply it manifold times. And that's exactly the reason why they want this quality in a candidate. They want that the candidate should have a mental strength, should feel never tired, but always having the energy to do it. And this also shows that the candidate, this also requires that the candidate is able to show to handle stress properly, not get defeated. And that's exactly what they want during your 3 tests, both GTO, interview and psychology. They will check that. Please display and get selected. Thank you.